if it doesn't work, just continue with the US process. Maybe God doesn't want you to go to the UK. But if you...
What is your hourly pay rate and all that, and how do you manage to get up to 18,000 US dollars per month?
Yeah, the Bible says our ways are not God's ways. I mean, God was just preparing something better for me, but I was rather looking elsewhere.
We all know that overseas we've got greener pastures, but there are greener pastures in the United Kingdom. There are also greener pastures in the United States, and
that I have to hit the travel nursing job, which pays much better than being a staff nurse in a hospital.
And join me, we are going to America.
Yes.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, the channel where we keep things real. And today I am so excited because I've got Mr. Richard in the house, and Mr. Richard is going to be telling us all about America. He is a nurse in the United States, and we used to study CPT together, and he's going to tell us all about that and how he ended up in the USA. And what I like the most about Mr. Richard is the amount of money that he takes home on a monthly basis. You know, I always say I love money, so if you love money like me, smash that like button, because Mr. Richard takes home 18,000 US dollars per month, and he's going to be telling us all about that in this video. So, Mr. Richard, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I am really happy that you agreed to come to my channel and talk of such sensitive things with me on this channel. Thank you so much for coming to my channel.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so please tell us briefly about yourself.
Well, so my name is Richard Aisu, originally a nurse from Ghana. I practiced as a nurse in Ghana for almost 10 years before I decided to migrate to the United States. I'm married with 3 kids.
Okay, so guys, me and Mr. Richard used to study together the computer-based test which nurses study when they come here to UK, and we both passed the CPT test. And after passing the CPT test, at what point did you decide that you now want to go to America instead of coming to UK?
Yeah, so with the UK, you know, those days I had gotten a job offer in Northern Ireland by somebody that I was connected to. So it was actually going to be like a nursing home kind of job. And I was so interested in that particular job because I just needed the opportunity to, you know, get out of Ghana because the system was not that favorable. I mean, in terms of how much we make as nurses back home. So I first of all took IELTS tests first time, and I did not get a requirement for the UK. Then I took the CBT and I passed. So it happened that I kept on taking IELTS so that I'll be able to have the qualification to migrate to the UK. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet that requirement. So I decided to try the United States, and then I began with an agency. And yeah, I took my NCLEX test in November 2019 and I passed, and I ended up in the United States.
Wow. So how many times had you taken your IELTS exam before you finally decided, you know what? I quit. I'm no longer doing this anymore.
Yeah. You know, I don't know, but I talk about it because I think God was actually directing my path, but I didn't understand because I had my own plans. Like the Bible says, our ways are not God's ways. I mean, God was just preparing something better for me, but I was rather looking elsewhere. So I took IELTS for 5 consecutive times, like
5 consecutive times.
5 times. I remember at a point I ran out of money. I had to discuss with my wife that, hey, you know what? I have to take loan, okay, and take this test again because if at least I am able to pass my IELTS test and my grades, I mean, paying off the loan is not an issue. So on the fifth time, it also coincided with a very sad but happy moment because I happened to stay in the same house with 2 friends whom I started these traveling issues with. And they, at the very beginning, decided to do NCLEX and they passed. So on my fifth test that I was hoping to pass, I failed again. And that was the time my friends were migrating to the United States. They had all gotten their visas. So, I just told myself that no, this UK thing is not something that's gonna work
Meant for you.
So let me just, decide on the United States. And then I began with the NCLEX, by which time the results that I had in the IELTS could take me to the United States. So I just took the opportunity. So this is what happened. I joined an agency in December, started my NCLEX preparation in February, and I took my NCLEX exams in November 2019 in India.
Okay, so guys, you can see Mr. Richard. I think I once did a video where I said to you guys, at times you discover that you've been trying to come to UK and you keep on writing IELTS, failing. That's $300 gone. You write another 300 gone. So you actually wrote IELTS 5 good times until you decided, you know what, UK is not my thing. I'm actually going to take another path to the United States. So what this basically means is, we all know that overseas we've got greener pastures, but there are greener pastures in the United Kingdom. There are also greener pastures in the United States, and Mr. Richard is going to be telling us about the greener pastures in the United States. But we have heard rumors that when you go to the United States, you are not able to go with your family, you struggle to bring your family and things like that. And Richard was able to go with his family to the United States. And how did you manage to do that, Richard?
Yeah, so this is the point. If you travel, that's the principal, applicant. You travel alone to the United States without probably applying for your family, that's your wife and your kids, from the very beginning, and then you come and you later want to bring them along, that will take some time. But what I did was that, which most of the people are doing now, is that from the very beginning, you put in the application for yourself and your family, okay? So your wife and your kids, and if you're a female, your kids and your husband, so that the application runs, you understand, for all of you. So, we went for the interview, and the interview was a walk in the park because it's like everything is already cooked for you by the agency. You are just presenting yourself to be seen in person, right? So the questions they asked me was like, what do you do? How long have you been a nurse? And by then COVID was at its peak, so they wanted to find out whether I happen to work with COVID patients and all of those. They asked me where I'll be working in the United States, and I told them. The only question they asked my wife was, where did she meet me, and should she come to the United States, is she going to work? And those two questions were something and that was it. We were
Wow.
presented with our yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then you just
then we
went
had our
together with
visa.
your family then. And so far, are
Yes.
you happy living in the United States? Because we have heard so many rumors that if you live in the United States, if you're going to work, you have to be carrying a gun to protect yourself. Or at any point when you're working, you can have someone pointing a gun at you and things like that. And it's not a safe place to raise the kids because of violence and all that. Are you happy with your family? And do you feel like United States is a safe and secure place for you to raise your kids there?
Oh yeah, of course it is. I must say that in the United States there are a lot of positive culture that one can actually, learn or emulate. For the safety issue, there is no where on this universe that is absolute safe for human. You understand? Even back home, armed robbers are killing people. You understand? Here in the United States, of course, you hear some of those, incidents. But personally, I haven't seen any. Right? That maybe I am unsafe, so I'm driving and I have to carry a gun in my car. Even though in my state, where in Maine, it is legal to hold a gun outside, but the law is such that if you are holding a gun, the gun must be visible, right? You don't have to hide the gun, so you can carry the gun. But it doesn't also mean that you are going to shoot somebody. It's just one of those things. And I must say that for me, this place is safe.
It's safe.
Yeah, it's safe. It's really safe for me. Yeah. For the kids too, it also depends on where you find yourself, right? If you find yourself that is what people say, that you find yourself in the urban centers, the life there is kind of on the run and all that. Where I am now is a little bit of a rural area, and you don't even see people outside. The only thing you see is cars running around, and
cows.
Cars. I mean, like vehicle.
Okay.
You hardly see people walking on the streets and or something like that. So the kids too, yeah, they are always indoors, and maybe you go to the park and they make friends, or you go to church, they make friends. And I must say that the people here are really friendly, unlike how we used to think that you meet racism and all. No, I haven't met even a single person trying to make me feel that, hey, I am a black person or something like that. There are moments that in the hospital setting, you try to talk to somebody, the person goes like, I can't hear you. Say, I can't understand you. Then I go like, hey dude, you know what? I am well educated. I speak very good English. If you don't understand me, then you have a problem, because I talk to thousands of people. You understand? This is what I do. My job is to communicate to people and take care of them. So if you cannot hear me, then that is your problem.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so that is it. In fact, so far, living here has been awesome. I have not had any regret of, traveling to the United States.
Yeah. So which means if you're in the United States, it is important that when you go and work there, you choose a state wisely, because some states are quieter than others, and some states are well known for
yes. So what I would say is that for people who want to migrate to the United States to work, they present to you the office. I mean, the the openings, the hospitals and all that, and you have to choose from and then have interview with those hospitals. So first of all, you have to really read about the states. I mean, how safe is a particular state? You understand? As opposed the other one, so that you can make an informed decision as to where you want to go. Of course, there are some states that you hear a lot. I don't want to mention a state because, you know, but there are some states that you hear more often some of these shooting incidents and other things. But these are people probably who are on the street. You know, we have the street guys, you know. So if I am going to work, I move my car off to work, I close from work, I come back home, Saturday, Sunday, I go to church, my kids go to school. I mean, car brings them back to the house. I don't think that you'll be in any danger.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about the salary of a nurse in the United States. Because I know when you went to the United States, you went through an agency and you worked for an agency and you eventually decided that you want to leave the agency. So how long did you work for the agency? And at what point did you decide that, you know what, I'm leaving this agency?
Okay, so I worked for the agency a little above a year. I was with them a little above a year. And the working condition in the hospital, you know, something must provoke you to move forward. You understand? So circumstances beyond my control in the hospital setting that I was really pushed me to move out. And moving out, I decided to just leave the agency that sent me there so that I can be on my own. And being on my own also meant that I have to hit the travel nursing job, which pays much, much better than being a staff nurse in a hospital.
Okay. So now, how much does the travel nurse job pay you? I've already indicated to people that you take home an average of 18,000 US dollars per month. Smash that like button if that salary shocks you like I'm shocked. May you please explain to us how you managed to take that much amount of money home? What is your hourly pay rate and all that, and how do you manage to get up to 18,000 US dollars per month?
Yeah. So I must say that as a traveler, making what you just mentioned is amongst either the middle or the lower class as a traveler. There are people who make way higher than what you are just mentioning.
You mean higher than 18,000?
Yes. What I mean is, of course, there are people who make.
America.
There are people who travel and they make like 6,000 a week, right? Yeah, they make 6,000 a week. That is after tax deduction and everything. They make 6,000 a week, and then some during the COVID era where crises were all over, people were making as high as $10,000 a week.
10,000 per week.
$10,000 a week. Yeah. Wow. So how does my current agency go about stuff so that I'm able to make the amount you just mentioned? So in the United States, if you are a traveler and you go beyond a certain miles, right? So let's say I'm working in town A. My residence is in town A. Of course, they are able to authenticate that by looking at your driver's license alone. They're able to tell where you reside. That's your residential, right? So they look at that, and then they at the end of the day say that, okay, if you drive or if the distance from your job is like maybe 70 miles from your home, they have what you call stipends, right? So the stipends is just like money that is given to you to take care of your accommodation and your feeding, because at this time you are likely to be paying two rents, because you'll be paying rent for your primary, residence, and you travel, and you'll be paying something for, let's say, a hotel or something like that. You know what I mean? So they pay what we call a stipend, and stipend is what we call non-taxable income, right? So
non-taxable income.
Non-taxable, they don't tax it. So at the end of the day, you can have a stipend between $1,000 and $1,500 every week, right?
Okay.
And that one is not taxable. Okay. Now, after that, after you take that money, which is not taxable, then your hourly rate also comes in.
Okay.
So the hourly rate for a traveler can range from $70 to $120 per hour.
$120 per hour.
Yes, $120 per hour. So at the end of the day, depending on how many hours you do in a week, you understand, you can choose to do 48 hours, or let's say 36 hours, or even go beyond 46 hours and do, I think the next one will be 60 hours, right? So you are working for 5 days, 4 days, 3 days. So you choose how you want to run the game. But the minimum you can do is 36 hours, right?
Wow.
So at the end of the day, they calculate that lump sum separately from the stipend. Then they tax that one. After taxing your hourly pay, they add it to the stipend and they give it to you as your weekly wage.
Wow.
So let me take, for example, if you are taking like $1,500 as your stipend, right? And then after deduction and everything from your hourly pay, you make like $3,000 for that dollars every week. What it means is that they will add the stipend $1,500 to the hourly pay, which is what, $3,000, and for that week you'll be making $4,500 for the week.
Wow. Guys, if you think this is amazing, imagine checking how much $4,000 per week, 5,000, 6,000, and all that. Smash that like button and join me. We are going to America.
Yes.
So Richard, seeing that you get that much on a monthly basis, how is the cost of living compared to the salary that you get? Because we understand that when you live in America, things are very expensive, medical insurance, which is very expensive, and all those things. I've done a video before where I came and presented the cost of living in USA and all that, and there were mixed views. Some agreed, some disagreed, and the most embarrassing thing which I did myself is I got involved in the argument and said, no, this is what is happening in America. But I was out of line because I'm not in America. I don't know what happens in America. I'm in Belfast. It's just like someone arguing with me that this is what happens in Belfast when I live in Belfast. You understand? Now, you are the one who is in America, and the taste of the pudding is in the eating. You are living and working in America, and you are in a better position to comment on that than me, who will be seated here in Northern Ireland and arguing with people in America. That's ridiculous. So from your own point of view, how is it like, the cost of living?
I would say it's good. It's really okay. I say it's okay because even though there has been some level of inflation since I entered here, because you can see that prices of goods and services have skyrocketed somehow. But at the end of the day, I must say that it is not entirely bad, right? Why do I say this? Here, depending on where you stay again, your rent, assuming you want like a two-bedroom apartment, you
Mm-hmm.
should be looking at between 1,200 to say 1,500 for a
For a two-bed
two-bedroom apartment.
apartment.
Yeah, for
Okay.
two-bedroom apartment. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, you would also be having maybe a car that you'll be paying, maybe some loan that you'll be paying for. You
Mm-hmm.
get so at the end of the day, you deduct your rent, you deduct your car loan, your car insurance. Um, I don't talk about fuel because fuel is the least thing that you think about if you are in the United States. So you talk about and then you now talk about and then food stuff is not expensive. Like you
Mm-hmm.
go for grocery shopping and all those things. Those are not also expensive. Clothings are, there are shops
Mm-hmm.
that you can easily get better clothing, better shoe, and all those things,
Okay.
to buy. Um, then you also, the huge thing that people talk about is the health insurance, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here in the United States, you must buy health insurance to
Mm-hmm.
be able to patronize their health system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to also, make some money for that. You understand? And it also depends on your family size. And
Okay.
these people are so generous. Let me use that word because the tax that they take from your wage
Mm-hmm.
depends on the family size that you have, right?
Okay.
So they call it the household income. So
Okay.
if I am working and I have like 5 people at home, right? And I am making like, say at the end of the year I'm making like $50,000,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you are working and you have only one dependent at home
Mm-hmm.
and you are making same money.
Mm-hmm.
The logic is that you will be taxed more than I will because I am feeding more mouth,
More people.
right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
That's
feeding
interesting.
more people. Yes.
Wow.
So now let's get back to the health insurance. So the health
Mm-hmm.
insurance, it also depends, the health insurance system in the United States is so complicated so that even people who have stayed here all their life cannot explain it well to you. Yes, because there are a lot of terminologies that they use. Out of
Mm-hmm.
packet, constantly out of packet, deductible, and all those things. So you just have to talk to these insurance brokers and then be able to get something that you think you can, afford. And you can bargain for the insurance, but the less you pay, the more you pay at the long run, and the
Mm.
higher you pay, the less you pay at the long run, right?
On
Yeah,
average, how much do you pay for your family?
so on the average, I have a family of
Okay.
we are 5. So fortunately, some states will be able to give your case some subsidy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obama brought some free healthcare system that we call it Obamacare and all those things. So if you are
Mm-hmm.
fortunate, your case can have those insurance, right? Or
Okay.
maybe subsidized somehow so that
Mm-hmm.
you pay a subsidized amount. Fortunately
Mm-hmm.
for me, I have that for my kids, right?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And the little one who was born here had insurance from the time she was born. Maybe after 1 year, that insurance will elapse. Then I will now have to buy my own insurance. So, like I said, on the average, a person can pay like 100 to 200,
100
right?
to 200.
Yeah, 100 to 200 per person. But if you're a
Okay.
family, then you are now looking at the what do you call it? That kind of system where it's okay. We are five, so it should reduce a little, so that maybe a family of five, you can be paying like 600, 700 a month. Yeah.
Also, for a family of 5, you pay around about
Yeah.
600 to
Yeah.
700
Yeah.
per
600 to
month.
700. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It can go as high as 1,200, depending on what you want.
So basically, health insurance depends on what you want, but you can
It depends
start.
on.
An individual can pay $100 to
Yeah.
$200 per person.
Yeah, per person.
Okay,
yeah.
I understand now. Let's say, what type of a car are you driving, and how much is your insurance, and do you pay road tax and all that?
Yeah. So again, the insurance too depends on what you want, right?
Okay.
So we have the comprehensive. Like this country, you pay for whatever you want. Everything is there, but
Okay.
if you want it, you have to pay for it. So my car, for instance, I use 2 cars. So for the 2, it was they just increased my car insurance to $130 a month
130
for the 2 cars. Yeah, for the 2 cars.
$130 for the 2 cars.
Yes.
Wow.
Because I also have what you call safe drive. Okay. So the safe drive, they monitor the way you drive, okay?
Okay.
And they give you a discount on your insurance. So if you are a reckless driver, it means that you are at high risk of getting accident. Therefore, your insurance is gonna go up, right?
Okay.
Yes. So I have a lot of discount on my insurance. So I used to pay 110. But quite recently, I drove about 13 hours to where I am now. So they told me that, hey, we realized that the mileage on your car has shot up, kind of stuff. So drastically. So they have adjusted it upwards for me. That is why I'm paying 130 now. Yeah. So it's all about what you want. I have a friend who uses the same car I'm using, the CRV Honda, and he's paying like $60 a month.
62.
60.
Wow.
60.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for all this valuable information. It is nice to hear about America from the perspective of someone who is living and working in America. It's very difficult for me to come and say this is what is happening in America when I'm not even in America. So I really, really appreciate this, Mr. Richard, and I hope guys you learned something from Mr. Richard, because I've learned a lot and he has actually enticed me. I might find myself in America, but
you have to come. You have to come.
I might find myself in America, but the thing is, whichever country you go to, whether you're in UK, whether in Australia, whether in New Zealand, can make as much money as you want. What is needed is your strength, because even here in the United Kingdom, people work very hard and people make amazing amounts of money. Yes, someone say I make £8,000 per month and all that. So which means America has got greener pastures, but it does not mean that UK does not have greener pastures. UK also has greener pastures. Australia has greener pastures. New Zealand, all places have got greener pastures. What is important is your strength and how you are going to be working. So, Mr. Richard, I really, really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to come and tell us about America. So what are your last words? Would you encourage people to come to America? And what would you say to those people who are writing IELTS and failing, and keep on saying, I want to get the score to go to UK? What do you have to say?
Yeah, the advice is that, look, if you take the IELTS once, maybe you can give it a second shot. If it doesn't work, just continue with the US process. Maybe God doesn't want you to go to the UK. But if you get the UK score, of course, you have to go to the UK. And if you still want to come to the US after getting the UK score, you can still write NCLEX whilst in the United Kingdom and then come to the US. So, guys, the first thing is to just take the test. You take the test. Usually when I'm explaining the process to people, I draw a line. So the first line is the IELTS. Now, after taking the IELTS, you see two lines, UK, US. So depending on your score, you branch. So if you get a score for UK, just branch there. If you get a score for US, branch there. That is it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for coming to my channel, and guys, thank you so much for watching, and may you kindly like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. If you've got any questions from Mr. Richard, comment down below, and may you please answer the questions if there are any questions in the comment section. And thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.